Sugar here, and today we are going to be reviewing the Chibiusa and Helios Figuarts Zero figure. I'm not typically a fan of the Figuarts line, however I do find this particular series to be really quite wonderful. They did a really good job with all the detailing and color choices and base. We'll take a good look at them here. So the base, you can shift the writing around, which is nice because you can choose whatever focal point you want to display for the feature and just have the writing in that place. And then the rest of the base, they chose to use a clear resin, which kind of emulates that magical watery effect, and they used a clear resin for the crystals, which again you can also sort of shift and move in whatever position you want. The Chibiusa has a pearlescent paint all over her dress and hair, which is a nice touch. The dress sort of fades into a nice translucent, wispy, magical effect. And then the gold detailing is nice and clean up in here. Her face has a nice expression. It's not super blank, I guess. I find Figuarts are bad for having odd, lifeless expressions on their face, particularly the newest figure they're releasing, which they announced, which is Sailor Moon sort of mid-transformation with her ribbons flowing all over the place. Her face is sort of dead to the world on that one. If you can get a look at it, I definitely recommend you go take a peek. The concept, A+, execution, well, we'll see how that goes. The back of Chibiusa, back to the topic at hand, is really nice too. They just have nice movement in her dress and her bow, and the pearlescent color adds a nice touch, and her hair also has a gradient effect, so it has a really light pearlescent effect up top and then a sort of darker translucent color towards the bottom. I do find she's a little bit wobbly, so if you bump her just the wrong way, she kind of has to lean on Pegasus a little bit, but it's very easy to pop her in place, and she does otherwise have a very stable base. And Pegasus is plugged in pretty well. He's not really going anywhere. He, however, came with this little thing here, which is supposed to go on his feet to help stabilize him, and there's just no reason for it. He's so well in there, he's not going anywhere. I don't know really why they included it. And it sort of gives me flashbacks of the 90s Gashapon figures, and if you own any of these and you've tried to use any of these bases to stand them up, you know it is literal hell. But anyway, again, off topic here. So back to Pegasus. He is beautiful. I love the pearlescent blue they chose, which again fades into that nice translucent resin. His body is pearlescent overall and has sort of a pink sheen to it. And they do have a nice gradient pink going towards the ends of his leaves and sort of in the shadows of his body features here. His tail has a lot of translucent resin and just a really pearly blue at the beginning, and I think it sits quite wonderfully. His hooves have a little bit more pink than the rest of him, so there is a bit of gradient happening there as well. His face is very beautifully done. I'll bring him up close. The painting is nice and clear. You can see all the details. His little forehead crystal does have the clean job painting around the edges of it, which I find a lot of figures, these little details can be kind of wonky or smeared. You can get a better look at Chibiusa's face in here too. She has a nice, clean, cute little face. But yeah, so here they are. This is one of my favorite figures. I really just adore Pegasus, and since it is so hard to find merchandise of Pegasus or Helios, I jump at the chance to own anything that involves him. And it would be nice if someday they actually did a Helios version instead of the Pegasus version, because Helios in particular in his human form is tricky to get a hold of. So that's everything for today. Stay magical and see you next time!